Good morning everybody and welcome to my channel. My name's Jen and this is Jen's Stitchy Corner, where I talk about all things cross stitch. Today is the 1st of February and that means it is full coverage February. It's finally here. I am so excited to work on all of my full coverage pieces. So we're going to start with Alice, which is my daily stitch. I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to run through what's on the wheel this month, and we will talk about competitions a bit later on, as I'm running some competitions on the channel, and also we'll do a wheel spin at the end to see what tonight's stitching is going to be. So firstly, we'll start with Alice and I'll show you the bag. I know I've shown it on the channel before, but I just think it deserves another viewing. So this is the bag that my mum made me. Alice got an upgrade. She was in a pink flowery bag, which was the first bag my mum made, which now houses a lot of other projects. But this one is just beautiful, isn't it? Look at the fabric. So really pleased with my Alice bag. Now we'll talk a bit about Alice. So Alice was my first full coverage piece. I started it around, it's probably getting close to 5 years now. This was before I documented when I started anything. So I'm guessing it's about 5 years. I basically joined a Facebook group, which was for Disney stitching, all sorts of Disney stitching, whether it be in the magazines, you know, the full coverages and things. And I stumbled across this one being stitched by somebody else. So immediately wanted to stitch it because I'm a massive Alice in Wonderland fan, and went over to Etsy, found the lady that was doing the patterns at the time, which unfortunately she doesn't sell this one anymore. And then I kitted up and started, and went from there. This is on 18 count, so this was before I really knew about 25 count. Obviously I knew about linen and even weave, like the higher ones, but I didn't know there was the lower range of like the 25 count or the 20 count or the 22. So yeah, that is where I started on Alice. It's using DMC threads for this one. Again, this was before I even thought of going down the road of CXC threads. So the lady I purchased the pattern from no longer sells it on Etsy, but I do believe others are selling it over there. So do go and have a browse and see if you can find it. So I'll show you Alice as to where I'm up to so far in the progress. So these are the page finishes that I've done. And that's how I started to stitch. And I got fed up with that. And then I started doing the typewriter method. If you go over to Stitchy Mummy's YouTube channel, you can see her tutorials on this. And then you just adapt it in your own way. So my way of working was that I complete a certain few lines on that block that goes across, and then just bring the colour down, and then I'm going to go back in and do the same again, just so that I can get to the other side a little bit quicker. And it does feel really nice to do it that way, I've got to say. So yeah, that is my progress. My starting point on this one is, I'm just trying to find it now. Here we are. So that is where I was up to the last time, and that pink bit here is the Cheshire Cat. Now I'm going to split my time. I am going to carry on across here, but I'm also going to start and gradually do some scattered stitches here. The reason for that is something I've never really thought about with full coverages, but I've noticed from quite a few floss tubers that if you do it page by page like that, you can get a line, like a straight line, and it's quite visible in your stitching. So I'm going to come down here and start and do scattered stitches, just so we don't get those straight lines showing through. So that is the plan with Alice, and that is the starting point. Okay, so Alice, as I said, is stitched on 18 count. It's stitched 2 over 1 full cross. I'm using DMC threads. The total stitch count for Alice is 999 in width by 693 in height. There's 135 colours in Alice. In total, I've stitched 38,602 stitches out of 692,307 stitches. That puts me at 5.58%. Another thing that I mentioned on my last video as well, was every time I reach 5% on my big full coverages, I'm going to put £10 in a pot towards a Gecko Rouge kit. It's something I want to build up and work towards. It's going to take a very long time to get that money in. So the pressure is on this year to try and get some projects to 5%. That is my goal. The smaller full coverages, I might half the amount that I put in, because obviously there's nowhere near the amount of stitches to these big ones. So when I reach, for those that are on Pattern Keeper, and I can count down, those will be £5 in the pot. And paper patterns, it will be maybe £5 with a page finish, because most of the time the patterns are split up, aren't they? So I might do that and see how that goes. I haven't got a pot yet. I keep saying that, don't I? I do need to get a little pot to put the money in as well for that. So I do have £10 because I reached 5%, well, over 5% now, but 5% on Alice when I did full coverage November. So now we'll move on to the whips that are going onto the wheel, and we'll start with Dragon Race Into the Night. Here's a picture of what it'll look like when it's done. I know a lot of floss tubers are stitching this one. It is designed by Rose Catherine Kahn, and it's charted by Paine Free Crafts. I'll just get it out the bag ready to show you my progress so far on this one. So this is stitched on 25 count Lugana, and it's the gridded one. And here is where I'm up to so far. So not much of a start, not much to see yet. And I'm doing the same method on this one, the typewriter method, moving across. And the needle minder is from Don't Step on My Needle. So that is my progress on that, and that's my starting point. I'm going to carry on moving across that row. I really do love the blues in that sky, so pretty. So Dragon Race then has 120 colours in this project, and I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross. I'm using CXC and DMC threads, and I've stitched so far 1,757 stitches out of 536,350 stitches. That puts me at 0.33%. I started this one on the 6th of October 2025 as a birthday start. Next, we'll move on to All the Better to See You With. This is another big project that I started in July last year, so 2025 again. Most of the projects I'm showing you were from last year because I hadn't really done much on full coverage apart from Alice. So here is where I'm up to on this one. If you've seen my latest floss tube, then you will have seen this already, but this is the progress so far. And I'm up in the sky, and I'm doing the same typewriter method. So not too far to go until we find the other end now. So it would be nice actually to get this one to the other side this month. That would feel like an achievement, wouldn't it? And then I can start my next row. So yeah, that is coming along. Yeah. So that is my starting point on that one. I'm going to leave the fabric over here and sort it all out when I've finished showing everything. All the Better to See You With. It's designed by Misty Walkup, charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. There's 118 colours. The stitch size is 671 in width by 825 in height. I'm stitching it on 18 count, and it's 2/1 full cross. And I'm using CXC threads for this one. And in total, I've put in 3,951 stitches out of 553,575 stitches. That puts me at 0.71%. Next, we have Heaven and Earth Sal This was the one that came out this year, and that's Fairytale. I started this on the 1st of January 2026, and here is my little start, and it really is a little start. Really want this to come up because I just have not got near enough stitches in it, and I've seen everybody else's progress and how pretty this one is stitching up. The detail is coming in straight away, so want to definitely work on this one. So that is my starting point for that one. It's stitched on 25 count Lugana. The stitch size is 225 in width and 394 in height. So that's the stitch count. There's 88 colours. I'm stitching this 1/1 full cross, and I'm using CXC threads for this one. I've put in 369 stitches out of 88,650 stitches. That puts me at 0.42%. Next to show you is Sleeping Hare, which is by Stitches So Beautiful. Absolutely love working on this one. I started this one on the 9th of January this year, and this piece is one that I'm using for their sale, where you receive a free pattern if you do a certain amount of stitches through the month. So you have to do 250 stitches a week, and yeah, you get a lovely chart from them. So I'm very excited to receive that. This is my starting point. Again, the typewriter method, that is pretty much what I'm using on all my projects now, apart from the middle starts on the smaller ones. So that is the progress there so far, and that'll be the starting point. So I'm stitching this on 25 count 1/1 full cross. It's designed by Dutch Lady Mystic Art, and the stitch count is 285 by 400. There's 109 colours in this one, and I'm using CXC and Rose to Me threads. In total, I've put in 1,010 stitches out of 114,000 stitches. That puts me at 0.89%. Next one to show you is Cozy Hedgehogs by Pink Lily Patterns over on Etsy. I started this on the 4th of November 2025, and this was in my full coverage November month as a new start. And here is where I'm up to. So just background really at the moment. And there's maybe a few leaves or twigs or something coming in there. And the needle minder is Don't Step on My Needle. I wanted a little hedgehog to go with my piece. So that is the starting point for that one. That is stitched on 25 count Lugana 1/1 full cross. The stitch count on this one is 370 by 555. There's 69 colours. CXC and Rose to Me threads are what I'll be using on this one. And in total, I've put in 734 stitches out of 205,350 stitches. That puts me at 0.36%. Next is Mystic Fox. I started this one with Steph from Wild Fox Stitchery for a Fox for Fall sale. I started this one on the 5th of September 2025, and the chart is from Counting the Stars on Etsy. So here is where I'm up to. There we go. So I'm working in on the top there again. I did start coming down here at one point, and then I've carried on across. This is stitched on 18 count. So that's my starting point for that one. Mystic Fox is stitched 2/1 full cross. I'm using DMC and CXC threads for this one. There's 60 colours in total, and I've put in 1,013 stitches out of 38,400 stitches. That puts me at 2.64%. Okay, Blue Castle is next. A picture should appear here for you of what that one will look like when it's done. This is also by Pink Lily Patterns. I started this on the 3rd of November 2025 on full coverage November. So let's get this one out of the bag. This is a nicer bag. This is one my mum made me, another flowery bag. And the rest are plasticky ones, so there's no point showing you those. This is where I'm up to on Blue Castle. I enjoy this one. It seems to be like a nice block of one colour and then it changes so far anyway, so it's not been confetti heavy or anything like that. So really do love the colours in this one. So that's my starting point for Blue Castle. Okay, so Blue Castle is stitched on 18 count Ada. It is 2/1 full cross. There's 69 colours in this one. The stitch count is 450 by 450. So far I've stitched 915 stitches out of 202,500 stitches, and that is at 0.45%. Okay, next to show you is Christmas Beauty by Counting the Stars over on Etsy. I started this one on the 21st of November 2025 for full coverage November, and here is my progress so far. So I'll be carrying on like the others across the row. So yeah, that's the progress on that one. That is stitched on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. The stitch count is 224 by 224. There's 45 colours, and I have put in 938 stitches out of 50,176 stitches. That puts me at 1.87%. Okay, so the next ones I have to show you from this point onwards are all paper patterns, and quite a few of them I haven't been counting the stitches or anything, so because they haven't been counted from the beginning, it will just be like a stitch count for me to keep check of how many stitches I'm putting in a night, really. I won't really be doing a total on these ones, I don't think, because it's whether I'm accurate for one with my counter. So this is Enchanted Spring, really lovely piece, and I started this one again for my November month for full coverage, and that was on the 16th of November 2025. This is by Letistitch, and yeah, lovely this one. So many pretty colours. So there is not much progress to show you on this one at all. It only spun, I think, the once. I'm sure it only spun the once. So that is my very little start there, and I did a middle start for this one. Very pretty colours though. You can see the detail coming in already on just that little bit, but yeah. So need some more stitches going into that one. So that one is stitched on 16 count. I'm using everything from the kit. There's 63 colours in total. I'm stitching 2/1 full cross, and as I said, that is a paper pattern. So that is that one. Okay, next we have Basking in the Sun, and this is a Lucy Pittaway design, and it's charted by Bothy threads. That's what it'll look like when it's done. Really lovely, isn't it? So this one, again, I don't think I've got much of a start on it, and I started it on the 8th of November. And here is where I'm up to on this one. So that is my progress so far. I've been working in on Mummy Sheep, and that's Hare there. And the needle minder came with the sewical box that this was in. I think you may be able to still get this sewical box if it's something of interest to you. Go and have a look on the Bothy site. If I can, I'll link it for you. So this one, I'm using everything from the kit again. It's stitched on 14 count Ada. It's 2/1 full cross, and there's 30 colours in this one. Okay, so next we have Sycamore Gap. This is one that I would really like to get finished for September so that I can get it framed and up on the wall. This is what it'll look like when it's done. Isn't it lovely? The colours are what drew me to this one. Absolutely gorgeous. So that is the finished piece. I started this one in February 2025. And here is my progress so far. So this is where I'm up to at the moment. So I've done quite a bit on this one. So really do want to get this one done. So yeah, I haven't done any, I don't think there's much backstitch on it. I think there's a tiny bit on here, but I haven't done that yet. Not sure if it's on the sheep, on the eyes there maybe, but yeah, haven't done any of that yet. So that is that one. It's stitched on 14 count Ada. I'm doing 2 over 1 full cross. There's 26 colours in this one. Okay, so next we have Luna's Garden by Letistitch. This is a really pretty piece. Look at the colours in that. So I'm going to pull this one back out again in May, as I'm doing Magical May. So all my fairy pieces, my dragon race piece, anything that's magical. And if you'd like to join me on that, then please do. Let me know if you want to take part. You can come over and join the Stitch Along group, which I've set up on Facebook for any future Stitch Alongs. So if you want to come over and join us, you're more than welcome to. The link will be in the description box below. But isn't that a beautiful piece? So this one, I've actually not done too badly on it. That is my progress so far. And I remember I really wanted to get to these purples and pinks. Absolutely beautiful. The detail that are in these ones is just amazing. I absolutely love Letistitch kits. As you can tell, because I've got quite a few of these ones now. So, oh, I forgot to say, the needleminder is by Lindsay at Stitching Magic 111. She has a Ko-fi shop, so if you do want to go and have a browse, I'll link her details in the description box below. So that is that one. So there's 52 colours in this one. Oh, I forgot to say, I started this on the 11th of August 2025. It's stitched on 16 count Ada. It's 2 over 1 full cross. Next to show you is London Snowfall. I started this one on the 16th of January this year. And this is what it'll look like when it's done. It is beautiful, isn't it? What a piece. So I'm working in on the house here, and this is the section that I've been working on. Okay, so here is where I'm up to on that one. And you can see the detail coming in here. The Christmas decor here looks really pretty. The needle minder again is Stitching Magic 111. So that will be my starting point on that one. This one is stitched on 16 count. There's 33 colours and it's 2 over 1 full cross. So the last one to show you that has been started and worked on is Light Up Your Life. I started this on the 21st of January this year, and it was on my 16 days of winter stitching. This is designed by Lucy Pittaway and charted by Bothy Threads. Absolutely love this piece. So here is what it's looking like so far. Excuse the hanging thread there. So it only came up on the wheel the once. So yeah, pretty colours. Do love the blues. So that one is stitched on 14 count Ada. It's 2 over 1 full cross, and there's 13 colours in that one. So we'll move on to new starts now, if they do come up on the wheel. And the first one is Moon Hare. Now this didn't come up in November on my full coverage November month. And then I went straight into Flossmas. Then I went into winter stitching, so there was no time to start it. But I thought if it doesn't come up this month, I really do hope it does, I will put it on my March sort of springtime, Easter time stitching, because it is a perfect pattern for that. So this is part 1 in this magazine, and it's the World of Cross Stitching. I will link in the description box below the issue numbers in case you do want to have a rummage and see if you can find the old issues. I'm not sure if the pattern is available to buy directly. I'm not too sure. It may be. And this is the other magazine as well. So like I say, I will put the issue numbers for these in the description box below. Right, here is the pattern and what it'll look like when it's done. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So really do hope that comes up. So that is new start number 1. So the next one to show you is Foxy Christmas, and this is by the Cross Stitch Studio. I'll put a sneak peek here because we haven't seen the full design yet. It's released page by page. So the stitch count for this one is 325 by 350. There's 104 colours, and I'm going to stitch this on 25 count 1/1 full cross, and I'm going to use CXC threads. For Moon Hare, that will be stitched on 18 count, and again it will be CXC threads. So it would be nice to have a new start. You can never have too many new starts, can you? So now we'll do the wheel spin to see what tonight's stitching is going to be, and then I will talk about the competitions. Okay, so let's see what tonight's stitching is going to be. Oh my gosh, it's actually Foxy Christmas. I can't believe that's come up. And that wasn't a fix, I promise. That is the first spin. So Foxy Christmas will be tonight's stitching. I really am looking forward to stitching on that one. So very excited for that. Cross Stitch Studio also gave us a beautiful fox pattern for free. Absolutely beautiful. I do want to start that one at some point as well. I'll put a picture of what it'll look like here. Absolutely beautiful piece. Okay, so let's talk about the competition. There will be a competition each week for my full coverage February. So there will be 4 prizes up for grabs. So do make sure that you take part in every one. So because you've got 4 chances of winning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word each day to put into your comments. You need to do that every day for that week. And then at the end of that week, I will put the words on a wheel spin and choose which word I draw from. And then I will pick a winner from that day of that video. So you do have to take part in each one to be with a chance of winning. Or you could take your chances and just comment on one day and see if your one comes up. So that is the plan for that. So the first prize will be a little cupcake needle minder from Don't Step on My Needle. Really lovely, isn't it? The next prize will be, so the week after that will be this needle minder here. So perfect for any Halloween projects. I can't show you the third prize because it will be a project bag that my mum is making for the competition. So I haven't had that yet, but I will show it as soon as my mum's made it. So the last prize to win will be a chart of your choice from Stitches So Beautiful, Heaven and Earth Designs, or one of those sort of sites, whether it be Paine Free Crafts. It will be the standard cost of a chart though, none of the the portals or anything like that. No really expensive charts. It will be the standard ones of your choice. And if you win, I will then email the chart over to you. So that is quite exciting. I'm really looking forward to doing that one as a giveaway. So the competition will start tomorrow on Monday. So make sure you come back to take part in that. And that is everything from me. So I really do hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, then please do like, subscribe and do all the YouTubey things for me. And I'll be back tomorrow with my full coverage update. So take care everyone. Have a lovely weekend and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.